The School of Comedy by David. David, an incredibly handsome middle-aged man, stands on a downtown Vancouver street corner. Iris, his 20-year-old daughter, of normal attractiveness, stands beside him. While waiting for the crosswalk light to change, 3 pretty female international students arrive and join them on the corner. Suddenly, the lights go out. The sun is gone. Total blackness. Before anyone can speak, 1.5 seconds later, the sun and the light returns. One of the students asks, "Did someone turn the lights out?" And David responds, "What was that?" Dave looks around and nobody is freaking out. Everyone is walking across the street like nothing happened, including his own little group of experiencers. David wonders, sure, the sun just stopped for 1.5 seconds, and he notices that nobody else on the 3 other corners seem to have experienced it. But I mean, why should we exchange numbers just because the sun ceased to exist? David, Iris, and their corner partners disperse. They don't exchange numbers or acknowledge the sun just disappeared. Why would that generation care? David thinks. As David and Iris cross the street, Dave just pulled back in time and returned to the corner. Morgan Freeman appears and says, "Hi, David, I'm God." Guess I should have said Joe that. It's either the School of Comedy or David Almighty. Morgan Freeman appears and says, "Hi, David, I'm God." David responds, "Sure, and I'm Adam. What's up, God?" Morgan, "Are you sure you want to take this approach?" David, "Are you sure you want to take this approach?" Morgan, "You think you're better than God?" David, "You mean better than you?" Morgan, "Notice something, David?" David, "Yes, time has stopped. Nobody is moving. Why are you stating the obvious?" Morgan, "Anything else?" David, "It's quiet. Very quiet." Morgan, "Isn't that what you seek, David?" David, "How can I help you, God?" Morgan, "Don't you think it's a little funny, David, that I'm an actor who plays God, but is God?" David, "Sure, it's hilarious. What's it got to do with me?" Morgan, "Straight to business, David?" David, "Yes, Mr. Freeman." Morgan, "All right. I won't waste your time. Here's the deal." David, "Swell." Morgan, "Not excited, David?" David, "I'm tired." Morgan, "Understood. Shortly you will not be tired. You will get your strength back." David, "And my mind?" Morgan, "Yes, and your mind." David, "And the catch is?" Morgan, "It's not really a catch, David." David, "Okay." Morgan, "When you die, when everyone dies, I guess, I give them a second chance." David, "To redeem themselves?" Morgan, "No. I don't care if they were good or bad in their lifetime. What matters is what they do with their experiences." David, "All right. So what's the second chance? I go back and make peace with everyone in my life?" Morgan, "If you think that'll help you, sure." David, "And if I think it won't?" Morgan, "Maybe you should hear about the proposal first." David, "Shoot, Morgan." Morgan, "Do you believe in the multiverse?" David, "Sure, if we are in a simulation or some system where it's easy to duplicate Earth, so to speak." Morgan, "Perfect. We are in such a system. And no, I'm not going to tell you how it works. The workings are unimportant." David, "Fine." Morgan, "When you die, in this case, David, you had a massive heart attack on that street corner. The lights didn't just suddenly go out. You were dead." David, "I didn't even hit the ground. Dead standing?" Morgan, "Dead standing. Then I stopped your time, and here we are." David, "What was the heart attack caused by?" Morgan, "What do you think?" David, "Years of unhealthy eating and too much beer?" Morgan, "Maybe it was just your time to go." David, "Don't you know?" Morgan, "I'm not that type of God, David." David, "Okay." Morgan, "Shall I continue?" David, "Please. Sorry, this is a bit much to consume." Morgan, "I understand. But do you feel scared or any emotion?" David, "Not really." Morgan, "Good. Here's the deal. You can quit life now and take your chances in the afterlife. And no, I'm not going to explain what that would entail. You'll have to risk it just like when you were alive. You had the chance to take your own life and you didn't. Or you can continue living. I will wipe your memory of this conversation and you'll go back to your life, but with a special ability. David, sounds corny. Morgan, not interested, or shall I finish? Morgan, I'm not that type of god, David. David, okay. Morgan, shall I continue? David, please, sorry, this is a bit much to consume. Morgan, I understand, but do you feel scared, or any emotion? David, not really. Morgan, good, here's the deal. Sorry. Let's go to 63. David, sounds corny. Morgan, not interested, or shall I finish? David, keep going. Morgan, with your special power, you will return in an attempt to do better than Jesus. David, did he disappoint you? Morgan, no. He was the last one to pass his test and create his own universe. David, oh, so he has a universe and you have a universe? Morgan, and others. David, and I'm in yours? Morgan, yes. David, because. Morgan, you didn't believe in Jesus or God, but you believed in me, in my movies. That made you part of my universe. David, so if I believe in Jesus, now I'll switch to his? Morgan, no, it's too late. You're dead. You get to continue, but from this point forward, in my universe. David, so you copy and pasted your universe, and then put me in charge? Morgan, not exactly. You have no powers except your special power. You have no powers except your special power. You have no power. David, so I can heal people? Morgan, if you can pick yes. You can if you pick that as your special ability. David, can we call it something else? Morgan, like. David, my woo-woo? Morgan, sure, your woo-woo power. David, what was Jesus' superpower? And can I go to his universe if I decide not to do this? Morgan, I already told you no. It's this or take your chances. David, fine. What was his power? Morgan, what do you think? David, ability to seduce any woman he wants? Morgan, yes. David, I knew it. I already have that ability. So what are my options? Morgan, anything that people believe in that is unprovable. So basically all the psychic phenomenon. David, like. Morgan, ESP, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairrecognizance, clairalliance, clairaugustance. Telepathy and mind reading abilities, telepathy, mind-to-mind communication, mind reading, directly perceiving thoughts, psychometry, reading information from objects, empathy, feeling other person's emotions, precognition, knowing future events before they happen, retrocognition, knowing past events someone else could have learned naturally. It's going to be interesting. Not sure how that would help you be Jesus, but physical and energy manipulation, telekinesis, cryokinesis. Someone could manipulate the temperature in this room and make it a little warmer. That would be nice. Electrokinesis, hydrokinesis, aerokinesis, geokinesis. Don't hear about a lot of those ones. Time and space abilities, time slips, bilocation, astral projection. Boring, boring, boring. Spiritual and paranormal abilities, mediumship, automatic writing. Automatic writing would be nice. Save me a lot of time. Channeling, out-of-body experience, remote viewing. Other unusual abilities, dowsing, psychic healing, apparition, ectoplasm, manifestation. David, shit, that's quite a list. You have that memorized? It's like you got it from AI or something. Morgan, pick David. David, any suggestions? Morgan, what are you best at, David? David, comedy. I'm a hilarious comedian. Morgan, who hasn't gone on stage, correct? David, fair enough. I'm a good listener. Morgan, okay, so what's your pick? David, let's go with telepathy, mind-to-mind communication. Morgan, okay, here are the rules for telepathy. To use telepathy, you must become mute for at least 2 years before it activates. Then, to use it on others, they must believe you are capable. How you get them to believe is your choice, without force, of course. David, if I get them to believe, then I can talk to them in their head? Morgan, yes, as they will be able to do with you, too. Yes, as they will be able to do. Yes, and then with you. David, then what? Morgan, then be Jesus. David, a bit broad, Morgan. Morgan, help others, David. David, what about myself? Can I use telepathy to fill my bank account? Morgan, what do you think? You saw the movies. David, I could, but somehow it wouldn't work out, so why bother, right? Morgan, exactly. David, be like Jesus? Morgan, be like David, acting like Jesus, to become David, king of his universe. David, king? Morgan, not a chance, David. Are you ready to go back? Shall I wipe your memory and begin the experiment? David, I suppose this conversation is pointless if I'll never remember it? Morgan, you'll remember it one day, but when it's too late, it won't help you. What will I remember? David, what will I remember? Morgan, 1.5 seconds of darkness with no reason. David, the sun doesn't just stop shining on one particular street corner on one particular day, does it, Morgan? Morgan, no, it does not. Morgan, no, it does not. David wakes up and is back in the corner with Iris saying, what was that? They talk about it throughout the day and into the evening, but with no apparent explanation, the incident is discarded from daily conversation, leaving them both to wonder. 8 years later, David sits in a recording studio at his local library. He types out his conversation with God, finally able to remember. There you go, Joe. A story just for you.